This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming at you with another video. And before we get started, I want to say that the reason why I haven't been making videos recently, for one, I've been real busy, had a real busy schedule for the past month, doing things with the family, doing things on the house. Um, and on top of that, I took a vaccine a couple of days ago for pneumonia, and the vaccine gave me a really bad reaction. So I'm still recovering from that currently. But with that being said, I also did videos with Mayday Mayhem, and you can check those out. They're pretty good. But with that being said, this is just Bob Omen coming at you with another video. And the topic of this video is the closest thing that I have to God is myself. Now, one thing that I had to learn through life, and I had to learn it the hard way, and it comes with years of ups and downs, with obstacles, things happening that was out of my control, things that I did that was within my control that I messed up in. And I came to this conclusion. Now, some people would say, oh, what about your parents? Now, both my mother and my father, they did the best that they could with what they had. You know, they did the best that they could. And even though I've made a few mistakes in my life, I turned out to be a decent human being. It could have been worse. But with that being said, at a certain age, I had to come to the realization that not even they can help me out with certain problems or certain situations. And I understand that there's certain things that's out of my control, and that's where the Most High come into. And those things that's out of my control, I pray about it and I ask for help and guidance through him. And sometimes the situation might still not work out for me. Sometimes it might work out for me, or I might see a different alternate way of looking at things that'll help out. But one thing that I understand, that when it comes to me, like my actions, I have control over. My urges, I have control over. The way that I treat people, I have control over. The way that I carry myself out in public, I have control over. The way that I eat, drink, work out, whatever I have to do, learning, going to work, doing the best that I can at any and everything that I'm doing in life. Ultimately, that's where me having the mindset that I'm in control of that comes into play, because God helped those who help themselves. And you've heard that so many times that it sounds cliche, but it's true. You see, God isn't going to help a fool if he doesn't want to do what it is that he's supposed to do, the things that's in his control to do. Sometimes he'll help you out in a situation. Sometimes he may know that you are not mature enough to go to the next level, and you may have to stay at that level for a certain amount of time until you're able to move up to the next level. That happens all the time. But with that being said, you have control over those things. And when you understand that you individually, for yourself, your being, you are the closest thing that you have to God. Now, I'm the closest thing that I have to God. Every individual are the closest thing that they have to God within themselves. So that means that I have to take full responsibility and accountability for my actions, whether good or bad. Even if I thought I was doing something good and it didn't turn out well, I have to take accountability for that. And I understand that. I understand that way more than I understood it earlier. And I'm not arrogant. I'm not coming down on anybody, But it's people out here that got a lot of money, that got a lot of attention socially, that got status, that haven't come to this conclusion yet. Or they may have come to this conclusion halfway. And what do I mean by that? Because they have these certain things, these certain tangibles that put them on a higher social ladder than others. Then they'll be like, oh, I'm better than these people because of I have this, this, and this. When in all actuality, even if you have more money, even if you have more status, even if you have more material possessions than somebody else, you are not the closest thing that that person has to God. Even if you're the boss of that person and they work for your company, if that person decides that it's time for them to quit, there's nothing you can do about it. Just like if you feel like they're not holding up their end of the bargain and it's time for them to get fired or terminated or laid off, there's nothing that they can do about it because it's your company. And with that understanding, I look at things totally different from how I used to look at it. And I have to give honor to the Most High for giving me this power of knowledge and understanding to do things the way that I need to do for myself to better my situation and my circumstances, to make the correct decision when I use logic and not emotions. Because earlier in my life, I'm not going to lie, I used emotions more than I used logic, and it bit me in the butt. And I hold myself accountable for that. And so now that I'm using logic more and using emotions less, I take time to observe and think and look at what's best for me personally. Now, there are times where I like it's within me to help out somebody, to make a sacrifice to help out somebody. But I understand that if I do that and that person isn't trying to care for themselves or they aren't trying to hold themselves up to a high level of standards, I'm pretty much doing it for naught. Because everybody has a choice in how they do things and how they react to things, things that they allow to influence or manipulate them. And if you allow shysters, you allow people that don't have your best interest to manipulate you because they have a certain type of charisma, then you ain't ready for this level of understanding. And with that being said, this is just Bob Bowman. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm out.